Bible in a Year, the Message Version, January 11 or Day 11, Genesis chapter 24, verse 52 through chapter 26, verse 16. When Abraham's servant heard their decision, he bowed in worship before God. Then he brought out gifts of silver and gold and clothing and gave them to Rebekah. He also gave expensive gifts to her brother and mother. He and his men had supper and spent the night. But first thing in the morning they were up. He said, "Send me back to my master." Her brother and mother said, "Let the girl stay a while. Stay maybe 10 days and then go." He said, "Oh, don't make me wait. God has worked everything out so well. Send me off to my master." They said, "We'll call the girl. We'll ask her." They called Rebekah and asked her, "Do you want to go with this man?" She said, "I'm ready to go." So they sent them off, their sister Rebekah with her nurse and Abraham's servant with his men. And they blessed Rebekah, saying, "You're our sister. Live bountifully, and your children triumphantly." Rebekah and her young maids mounted the camels and followed the man. The servant took Rebekah and set off for home. Isaac was living in the Negev. He had just come back from a visit to Beer Roy. In the evening he went out into the field. While meditating, he looked up and saw camels coming. When Rebekah looked up and saw Isaac, she got down from her camel and asked the servant, "Who is that man out in the field coming toward us?" "That's my master." She took her veil and covered herself. After the servant told Isaac the whole story of the trip, Isaac took Rebekah into the tent of his mother Sarah. He married Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he loved her. So Isaac found comfort after his mother's death. Abraham married a second time. His new wife was named Keturah. She gave birth to Zimran, Joksham, Madam, Midian, Ishbak, and Shual. Jokshan had Sheba and Denan. Denan's descendants were Asrumium and Letashim and Luminim. Midian had Ephra, Epher, Hanok, Ibdah, and Eldah, all from the line of Keturah. But Abraham gave everything he possessed to Isaac while he was still living. He gave gifts to the sons he had by his concubines, but then sent them away to the country of the east, putting a good distance between them and his son Isaac. Abraham lived 175 years. Then he took his final breath. He died happy at a ripe old age, full of years, and was buried with his family. His sons, Isaac and Ishmael, buried him in the cave of Melapah in the field of Ephron, son of Zorah, the Hittite, next to Mamre. It was the field that Abraham had bought from the Hittites. Abraham was buried next to his wife Sarah. After Abraham's death, God blessed his son Isaac. Isaac lived at Beer Lahai Roi. This is the family tree of Ishmael, son of Abraham, the son that Hagar the Egyptian, Sarah's maid, bore to Abraham. These are the names of Ishmael's sons in the order of their births. Nebaioth, Ishmael's firstborn, Kedar, Adbeel, Mibsam, Mishma, Duma, Massa, Hadad, Tema, Jeter, Naphish, and Kedemah, all the sons of Ishmael. Their settlements and encampments were named after them, 12 princes with their 12 tribes. Ishmael lived 137 years. When he breathed his last and died, he was buried with his family. His children settled down all the way from Havilah, near Egypt, eastward to Shur, in the direction of Assyria. The Ishmaelites didn't get along with any of their kin. This is the family tree of Isaac, son of Abraham. Abraham had Isaac. Isaac was 40 years old when he married Rebekah, daughter of Bethuel, at the Aramean of Padar Arma. She was the sister of Laban the Aramean. Isaac prayed hard to God for his wife because she was barren. God answered his prayer, and Rebekah became pregnant, but the children tumbled and kicked inside her so much that she said, "If this is the way it's going to be, why go on living?" She went to God to find out what was going on, and God told her, "Two nations are in your womb, two peoples butting heads while still in your body. One people will overturn the other, and the other will serve the younger." When her time to give birth came, sure enough, there were twins in her womb. The first came out reddish, as if snugly wrapped in a hairy blanket, then named him Esau, or Hairy. His brother followed, his fist clutched tight to Esau's heel. They named him Jacob, or Heel. Isaac was 60 years old when they were born. The boys grew up. Esau became an expert hunter, an outdoorsman. Jacob was a quiet man, preferring life indoors among the tents. Isaac loved Esau, but he loved his game. But Rebekah loved Jacob. One day, Jacob was cooking a stew. Esau came in from the field, starved. Esau said to Jacob, "Give me some of that red stew. I'm starved." That's how he was called Edom, or red. Jacob said, "Make me a trade, my stew for your rights as the firstborn." Esau said, "I'm starving. What good is a birthright if I'm dead?" Jacob said, "First swear to me." And he did it. On oath, Esau traded away his rights as the firstborn. Jacob gave him bread and the stew of lentils. He ate and drank, got up and left. And that's how Esau shrugged off his rights as the firstborn. There was a famine in the land, as bad as the famine during the time of Abraham. And Isaac went down to Abimelech, king of the Philistines, in Gergar. God appeared to him and said, "Don't go down to Egypt. Stay where I tell you. Stay here in this land, and I will be with you and bless you. I'm giving you and your children all these lands, flowing and fulfilling the oath that I swore to your father Abraham. I'll make your descendants as many as the stars in the sky and give them all these lands. All the nations of the earth will get a blessing for themselves through your descendants. And why? Because Abraham obeyed my summons and kept my charge, my commands, my guidelines, my teachings." So Isaac stayed in Gergar. The men of the place questioned him about his wife. He said, "She's my sister." He was afraid to say, "She's my wife." He was thinking, "These men might kill me to get Rebekah. She's so beautiful." One day, after they had been there quite a long time, Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out his window and saw Isaac fondling his wife, Rebekah. Abimelech sent for Isaac and said, "So she's your wife. Why did you tell us she's your sister?" Isaac said, "Because I thought you might, or somebody might, kill me because they wanted her." Abimelech said, "But think of what you might have done to us. Give a little more time. One of the men might have slept with your wife. You would have been responsible for bringing guilt down on us." Then Abimelech gave orders to his people, anyone who so much as lays a hand on this man or his wife dies. Isaac planted crops in the land and took in a huge harvest. God blessed him. The man got richer and richer by the day until he was very wealthy. He accumulated flocks and herds and many, many servants, so much so that the Philistines began to envy him. They got back at him by throwing dirt and debris into all the wells that his father's servants had dug back in the days of his father Abraham, clogging up all the wells. Finally, Abimelech told Isaac, "Leave. You've become far too big for us." Matthew chapter 8, verse 18 through verse 34. When Jesus saw that a curious crowd was growing by the minute, he told his disciples to get him out of there to the other side of the lake. As they left, a religion scholar asked if he could go along. "I'll go with you wherever," he said. Jesus was curt. "Are you ready to rough it? We're not staying in the best inns, you know." Another follower said, "Master, excuse me for a couple of days, please. I have my father's funeral to take care of." Jesus refused. "First things first. Your business is life, not death. Follow me. Pursue life." Then he got in the boat, his disciples with him. The next thing they knew, they were in a severe storm. Waves were crashing onto the boat, and he was sound asleep. They roused him, pleading, "Master, save us! We're going down!" Jesus reprimanded them. "Why are you such cowards, such faint hearts?" Then he stood up and told the wind to be silent, the sea to quiet down. Silence! The sea became smooth as glass. The men rubbed their eyes, astonished. "What's going on here? Wind and sea stand up and take notice at his command." They landed in the country of the Gadarenes and were met by two men. These madmen were victims of demons coming out of the cemetery. The men had terrorized the region for so long that no one considered it safe to walk down that stretch of road anymore. Seeing Jesus, the madmen screamed out, "What business do you have giving us a hard time? You're the Son of God. You weren't supposed to show up here yet." Off in the distance, a herd of pigs was grazing and rooting. The evil spirits begged Jesus, "If you kick us out of these men, let us live in the pigs." Jesus said, "Go ahead, but get out of here." Crazed, the pigs stampeded over a cliff into the sea and drowned. Scared to death, the swineherds bolted. They told everyone back in town what had happened to the madmen and the pigs. Those who heard about it were angry about the drowned pigs. A mob formed and demanded that Jesus get out and not come back. Psalm chapter 10, verse 1 through verse 13. God, are you avoiding me? Where are you when I need you? Full of hot air, the wicked are hot on the trail of the poor. Trip them up, tangle them up in their fine-tuned plots. The wicked are windbags. The swindlers have foul breath. The wicked snub God, their noses stuck high in the air. Their graffiti all scrawled on the walls. "Catch us if you can. God is dead." They care nothing for what you think. If you get in their way, they blow you off. They live, they think, a charmed life. "We can't go wrong. This is our lucky year." They carry a mouthful of spells. Their tongues spit venom like adders. They hide behind ordinary people, then pounce on their victims. They mark the luckless, then wait like a hunter in a blind. When the poor wretch wanders too close, they stab him in the back. The hapless fool is kicked to the ground. The unlucky victim is brutally axed. He thinks God has dumped him. He's sure that God is indifferent to his plight. Time to get up, God. Get moving. The luckless think they're God forsaken. They wonder why the wicked scorn God and get away with it. Why the wicked are so cocksure. They'll never come up for audit. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 1 and verse 2. Good friend, don't forget all I've taught you. Take to heart my commands. They'll help you live a long, long time, a long life lived full and well. This was a daily reading of the Message version of the Bible, read to you by Bible in a Year.